attacker of kindergarten school. Nigeria, a stakeholder in the education sector, Mr. Sunday Ekundayo, has called on all other stakeholders and leaders of thought in the country to prevail on the federal government to address the lingering industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASUU. Mr. Ekundayo made the call in Osogbo while speaking with OSBC News on the strike action of ASUU, which continues unabated. According to the educationist, the more the federal government responds speedily to the agitation of Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, the better for the country's educational sector. He noted that the federal government and ASUU representatives should go back to the drawing board and provide lasting solution to the lingering industrial action embarked upon by ASUU. He speaks further.
I'm using this medium to appeal to the federal government to dance to the tune of ASUU, in the sense that what they are demanding for are not for their own sake, for the sake of these young ones. How can some students, for instance science students, pass through universities and they do not know much about some practicals? It is not ideal. Somebody who reads say chemistry or biology and he or she doesn't know much about practicals, it is not ideal and it is not normal. So I'm using this medium to appeal to federal government to dance to the tune of ASUU. They are not fighting because of their salaries. And some of them, with the token amount that they receive, they are still okay. I'm pleading seriously with federal government. Government should consider all these things and that's to the tune of ASUU, and they should allow these young ones to go back to their various universities on time. A minute to said this is century lost. You know, some of these students, some of them are supposed to marry on time, but with the state of things, they can't do that. For a very long time, even a minister of Nigeria, I've never had the issue of a strike like this. So I'm pleading with federal government. It's the money that they are wasting on policies too much. If education is expensive, one should try ignorance. They should value education, because these young ones are leaders of tomorrow.
Senegalese opposition party has called for the postponement of official publication of the result of Sunday's parliamentary election, which its announcement is due today by the Electoral Commission. Report says the leader of the opposition coalition alliance, Mr. Dirty Four, said a postponement will give stakeholders more time to identify irregularities as alleged fraud has been claimed in northern regions. Information has it that both the opposition alliance and the governing coalition of President Macky Sall claimed victory on the basis of partial results. Uganda's President Mr. Yoweri Museveni will meet U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Ms. Linda Thomas-Greenfield, later today. Ms. Thomas-Greenfield is visiting Kampala a few days after Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov was in town. Speaking with newsmen, President Museveni described Ms. Thomas-Greenfield as a very good associate. The president said there has not been an attempt to influence the country's position on the war in Ukraine. Uganda has been one of 16 African countries to abstain on U.S. resolution demanding Russia to put the invasion to an end. Mr. Museveni said Uganda has supported U.S. in the face of provocation then and should apply the same principle in today's meeting. Former Botswana President Mr. Festus Mugabe has withdrawn from Commonwealth Observer Mission for Kenya's general elections due to unforeseen circumstances. Mr. Mugabe, who was appointed in July as the leader of the 20-member group, has now been replaced by former Jamaican Prime Minister Mr. Bruce Gordon. This will be the second time Mr. Mugabe is chairing the team following the 4th of March 2013 elections, where he led a 17-member team. Report says Mr. Golden has embraced the move, urging the electorate and Kenya leaders to cooperate. This is the World at Noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ileawiye Okebalo Osogbo, Voice of the West. Now, our midnight message. This is the best policy. Train your child to be honest. 58-year-old U.S. Congresswoman Mr. Jackie Walorski and 2 members of her staff have reportedly died when the vehicle they were traveling in collided with a car that veered into their lane and she was traveling with her 28-year-old communications chief, Hima Thompson. Report says the driver of the other car, the 56-year-old Mr. Shumoska, reportedly died at the scene of the accident near the northern Indiana town of Nepane. Police in Indiana and her associates said a Republican who represented Indiana's 2nd congressional district in the U.S. House of Representatives was mourned, being an honorable public servant who strived to work across party lines to deliver for our constituents. A 62-year-old Frenchman has reportedly survived for 16 hours at sea by using an air bubble inside his boat after it capsized. Report indicates that the 12-meter vessel, which had set sail from Portugal's capital Lisbon, sent out a distress signal from the Atlantic Ocean. Earlier, Spanish Coast Guards found the upturned boat, but the sea was too rough to rescue him. Hence, the sailor had to wait till the following day when the sun had gone down to be recalled that a rescue ship carrying 5 divers as well as 3 helicopters set off to find and rescue the yet to be identified man. A manhunt is underway in northern Australia after 3 people were reportedly killed and another critically injured in a shooting on a remote property. Authorities said the shooting happened on a cattle farm at Bogey in Queensland. Queensland police have cordoned off an area surrounding the property as they search for the killer of the 3 people. Report says the injured at a cattle farm man suffered a gunshot wound on his abdomen and was flown to a hospital in the city of Marke to undergo emergency surgery. Police in southern China have arrested a 47-year-old man suspected to be involved in an attack that sent 3 people to their early grave and injured 6 others at a junior school in Jiangxi province. The police authority in China has not given any detailed information on the identity and ages of the victims. China upgraded security at schools following a spate of deadly attacks in recent years, of which people bearing grudges against society and others suspected of mental illnesses are culprits. China had in the recent years recorded escalated cases of uncoordinated attacks in which the motives were unclear. Information has it that mostly male assailants were either killed, took their own lives, or were put on trial and executed. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. In Nigeria, a stakeholder in the education sector, Mr. Sunday Ekundayo, has called on all other stakeholders and leaders of thought in the country to prevail on the federal government to address the lingering industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASUU. Botswana President Mr. Festus Mogwai has withdrawn from Commonwealth Observer Mission for Kenya's general elections due to unforeseen circumstances. Police in southern China has arrested a 47-year-old man suspected to be involved in an attack that sent 3 people to their early grave and injured 6 others at a junior school in Jiangxi province. And that was the world at noon, edited by Ulushola Egbodofo. In today's news talk entitled Economic Hardship, Time to Think Solution and Not Bulk Passing, Okoyemi Salam of OSBC Marketing Department posits that the economic hardship being experienced in the recent past is not limited to Nigeria alone.
That Nigeria and Nigerians are passing through a terrible period economically is to say the obvious. However, the economic hardship being experienced presently is not limited to Nigeria alone. Other African countries, including the United States of America, USA, and European countries have their own share. Cost of goods and raw materials have gone up in geometrics, making it extremely difficult for common man to afford 2 meals per day. Thinking of any item, the price is no more stable as commodities are no longer sold the same prices even within few days. It is so terrible that in most cases some items are being sold thrice their previous prices. Economic experts and analysts have attributed the present hard economic period to impact of COVID-19, Russian-Ukraine war, and general insecurity in Nigeria, brought about by banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency by Boko Haram. According to them, other factors include fall in the value of naira to US dollar. As at today, $1 exchanges for more than 400 naira officially, while it is over 700 naira in the black market. Today, average Nigerian is complaining and groaning under the effect of high prices of essential commodities. Recently, videos of public protests in some Nigerian neighboring countries and even Sri Lanka against their leaders resurfaced. That is to confirm that the economic recession is not peculiar to Nigeria. At this juncture, Newstalk believes it is high time government designed policies and proactive actions. This is not the time for citizens to start complaining, rather the time to think of solutions. Citizens need to engage more in production of goods and services that can generate more income. Newstalk implores government to provide enabling environment for citizens to do their businesses and equally encourage mechanized farming in order to boost agricultural production. Moreover, Newstalk posits that unemployed youth must be provided with entrepreneurship training and empowerment programs to enable them be self-employed and also create jobs. Newstalk is of the opinion that political office holders and representatives at all levels should also be part of this initiative. Newstalk believes that once production of food items is accelerated, the issue of poverty bedeviling the people will be eliminated. A Stitch in Time says now.
That Newstalk, entitled Economic Hardship, Time to Think Solution and Not Bob Passing, was written by Opeyemi Salam of OSBC Marketing Department. The script was read by Adeni Ikendi. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening to The World at Noon. Good afternoon.